everyone, I'm Sad.
And I'm Christoph.
Welcome.
I'm Amy.
No, that's fine. And welcome to TOB. Okay, nice addition. Welcome to TOB Talks, the podcast series by She Rides and O'Shea Racing.
We're giving you a behind-the-scenes look of what it's like to line up against the world's best as a Conti team in the Tour of Britain.
Let's get started. Ready? Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of TOB Talks. The evening after the Queen stage, actually, and it was I think we can say it was a very heavy and chaotic stage today. So since all the riders are pretty exhausted, we kind of have another type of guest today, but certainly not less interesting. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
So before we really get started, can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
So I'm a scholar on a British cycling high performance coaching programme with a special interest in female cycling. And I got put in touch with Christine White, who I believe you spoke to after one of the previous stages, to kind of shadow her and find out more about the sports director role. And I've come to the Tour of Britain to support the O'Shea team as a Swanee, in effect. To help the team out wherever I can and to sort of follow Christine around as well. Be her shadow.
Yeah, and as Swannies never get tired after Queen stages, they lined you up for today's episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we're not allowed to get tired.
Yeah.
Ever, yeah. But yeah.
So yeah, and what brought you to this point? So yeah, you talked about the program, but maybe why did you wanted to start the program in the first place?
So I actually come from a ski background, and I've been coaching skiing for the past 15 years. And I've always used cycling as a way to keep fit for skiing. And I'm based in Teen, which is where a lot of the sort of World Tour teams go for the altitude training. So I basically follow them around, trying to keep fit and get a little bit obsessed with cycling in the summers and the Tour de France. And I decided to try and take my skills from coaching from skiing to cycling. There's a lot of skiers like Roglic and Anna Henderson, who's in the Tour, that have switched from skiing to cycling. So I think it's a good crossover. And I'd seen this scholarship available with British Cycling. It's a year-long programme. And I just thought it'd be a great opportunity to sort of get a bit more stuck in and get a bit more experience.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe before we go a little bit deeper in how the race went for the team and how your experience was today, we'll just start with a short. Yeah, if we can do this short, a not too long stage recap. Yeah, it was
a mess.
Yeah, it was a mess.
It was a mess.
It was hectic.
Yeah, you just need 4 letters to describe today, actually. Yeah, we had the Queen stage in Calso, in and around it, with 1,700 meters of denivellation to conquer today. It was never an easy moment on this kind of parkour. It was always up, down, twist and turning. And on top of that, we had some very, very typical British weather, just as a Tour of Britain needs in the Queen stage. No, but on the other hand, we saw some quite dramatic crashes. We had Kristen Faulkner, who needed to change a bike first. Actually, Kristen Faulkner was involved in a crash 3 times today, so she had to pursue 3 times today, actually. So she had a terrible day. Mara Roldan, the winner from yesterday, she had a terrible day as well. She was involved in a crash and she did not return, so she's a DNF. Lorena Wiebes was involved several times in a crash. Barbara Gaurishi was taken off and is a DNF. So yeah, it was a complete mess. And then you saw it at the riders as well. Little Trek was pulling all day, but they didn't get any cooperation from the other teams. So Kristen Faulkner had to work in the back of the race to defend her leader's jersey. Then we had the Quam jersey fight today with Flodarchik and Mara Roldan until she fell out, of course. So yeah, this was quite a messy day for the riders, and you could see it as well. It was raining on and off. The roads were slippery sometimes. This was very hectic. But in the end, we saw Cecilia Uttrup-Ludwig pull away on the last climb of the day, if I'm not mistaken. Well, of course, as it should be today, she was also with a mechanic, so she had to lose the top of the race. But we had Kat Ferguson, Josie Nelson, Ellie Wollaston, Caroline Swinkels, and Gasparini, who stayed in front. And then they battled it out on slippery cobbles at the end as well in Kelso for the finish. So that was like sketchy finish as well. And well, the young Brit, Kat Ferguson, I think the people's champ, especially in the Tour of Britain, she took her first World Tour victory before Josie Nelson and Ali Wollaston. Well, of course, the inevitable trio, 1, 2, 3. And Caroline Swinkels rounded up the top 4, and Gasparini came in 5th, exactly. Yeah, Swinkels showed me all day that she was having a terrible day until the last 30k. Apparently, she looked like, well, I'm not into this, and then then she's there. So yeah, was quite a mess. But interesting GC battle going on for tomorrow as well, because we have some, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 3 intermediate sprints in Glasgow with 3, 2, and 1 bonus seconds to win. So we have Kat Ferguson in the lead currently, before Ali Wollaston with 3 seconds. So that can be very interesting. And Caroline Swinkels is only at 12. That's maybe a little bit too distant already, but yeah, we're in for an interesting final stage, I think.
It's all to play for.
Yeah. Yes. After all this mess cleared up, we have an interesting final stage in Glasgow.
Yeah, definitely. I think the girls are excited for it because I think the last few days have shown anything can happen. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, completely. Sarah, do you have anything to add about the general race of today?
Yeah, maybe.
Anything to add to this mess?
I don't know if you mentioned that Kim de Koer also had to abandon.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
So that one was something to add, and
yeah, I think there was nothing left to play for Kim de Koer. Her back hurted too much. She knew she couldn't win, and with Gladys Verhulst out, they have
we had
not
to
a lot.
that too. Yeah, she had a crash with like 8 broken ribs, punctured lung.
And a punctured lung.
And also, I think it was I can't remember. There was something else, a broken arm, but higher up or something. Can't.
Oh yeah, the femoral head. I think it was. Yeah.
So
too many injuries to remember.
World Tour cycling is fun.
I know. Yeah.
Jesus.
And then maybe just one little thing. I don't know. You have to go to the Canyon SRAM Instagram account. The photos of Uttrup-Ludwig after the stage. It was so sad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not seen those.
Yeah, she was really crying, and with the rain, it made it feel even more sad. Like I think she hasn't been up there to really battle for the victory yet this year, and I think probably today she had a feeling like, okay, I can battle for victory here, and then to have a mechanical, that was sad to see. So yeah,
because she did amazing on that climb. She made a big gap pretty quick. So yeah, you can only imagine how that feels then to have it taken away again.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's funny because it felt very hectic and tiring. Just it's a bit strange as a Swanee, I guess, because as soon as they set off, so we were doing the second feed today, so we were at the start line when they set off so that they could give us their rain jackets and any extra layers, and then you're kind of straight off to get to the feed zone. So you kind of miss what's going on at the start, and the TV coverage hasn't started yet. So you can't sort of, keep an ear on what's going on. And we had one of the radios with us, but it was going in and out of range. So we got snippets from the car where you'd hear something dramatic, but then you wouldn't hear anything again. So we'd heard there'd been a crash. We knew from the WhatsApp group. I had another guy with me, so he was sort of on the group, and he had said we weren't involved. So that was a big relief. And we could hear Sonara's name coming up a lot, so we knew she was doing quite well. And Christine was kind of moving between her group. She was up with the main peloton for quite a while, and the others were further back. But I think it was quite a tough day for Christine because she was kind of moving between the two, helping with layers. There were gloves off, jackets on, trying to get the layering right and everything for the conditions continually changing. And we saw Sonara obviously first at the feed. She was looking really strong. She had a great ride today. And the other girls came through looking pretty good as well, actually, and they all did really well feeding today. It's obviously a longer stage. So I think, they did a good job at sort of keeping on top of energy. And then we'd waited for the last rider to come through, and as she came through and we were sort of packing up ready to go, and then we just saw one of our riders coming back towards us at the feed zone, and unfortunately Sana had to abandon because of a back problem. So we kind of had to do a quick shovel her into the car with all the rest of the kit. I think she was feeling a bit downbeat at that point, at which point the heavens opened as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to the fourth feed and had to go straight back to the finish because there was talk on the radio as well of, I think it had sort of spread around 10 kilometers, and they'd started pulling riders from the course because it was getting dangerous with the cars now entering. So there was rumours that riders might be pulled, so we had to get back to the finish. And at that point, I think it wasn't long before the first riders then came in. So then you're on to sort of feed mode for when the riders get back. And they all got back, covered in mud, exhausted, and needing food pretty quick.
Yeah, nice day at the office. Where did Sonara crack, actually? Was it on the last climb? Because we saw her all day in the front group. So she was getting on, but she was there. So she was really strong.
Yeah, so we caught her. We'd managed to see her avoid the crash Kristen went down in, and she just missed it and carried on. So we were like, okay, great, she's still in. And then unfortunately we were then doing jobs, so I didn't see where she got caught back, and she wasn't in the car with me after. So this is the thing, you kind of want to catch up with people after, and you're straight, as soon as they were warm, we didn't want them to get cold after they'd eaten and got changed and we'd unpacked everything. It was then transferred to Glasgow. So I haven't actually managed to debrief with her yet. So I'm not sure 100% where she ended up a bit further back, but I think she came in 45th, was it? I think
something around 40-ish.
About 6 minutes back. So
and
I mean, as I said, she did a great effort and really well to stay with the top group for so long.
Yeah, she should be proud. Cracking in the end as a Conti rider is not a shame against this competition and in this kind of circumstances. So she and I very proud of her day.
Yeah, watching Lidl at the start, as you said, they were constantly pushing, and Lizzie Dignan was out the front. You could tell her trying to encourage it, and we were like, "Oh God, they're really going for it here. This is gonna really punish the team." But yeah, as you said, she should be proud. She did really well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Lizzie Dignan was bossing around all day in the first half, and she was like making gestures and then getting angry at people.
Holding no prisoners.
Like
that's why we love her. She was igniting it, It was, you kind of feel for the team having to deal with it and keep up, but it shows a good fight.
Yeah, you gotta love Lizzie. Yeah, she was the Queen of England for one day.
Yeah.
My God. So, and Yeah, as a Swanee, and then during this kind of racing and this kind of hectic day, did you have any unexpected tasks today? Or
Oh, good question. I think the feeding was definitely different. I think some days they get back and they've always got the things prepped that they like, rice with some sort of protein, and they all have it in different ways. Some with yogurt, some with sweet chili sauce and ham. Sonara just goes nuts for a meat feast. But today they kind of all got back and were, I think Sonara straight away was like, I need a bag of Haribos as quickly as you can. And they all required a lot more food today. Luckily, we'd prepped a bit more in anticipation. But yeah, I mean, there's always something like just before, because it was quite hectic this morning. We didn't have long from arriving because we were all the teams having to reverse in. So it was a bit of a backlog. So by the time we'd all got there, got to the team presentation and stuff, Sonara's radio wasn't working properly. So that was a quick, change the wiring. There's always something that happens at the worst possible time. But anyway, they all managed to get off okay. So yeah.
Yeah, you make plans and then the race happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's the most chaotic moment you experienced during the first three stages?
Oh,
Plenty to choose from.
yeah. I think trying to get Sonara in the car quickly today was sorry, not Sonara, Sana. That was quite hectic just because she was so cold and clearly disappointed, and you're trying to unpack, repack, make sure people know what's going on, and Christine in the car know what's happening, and keep the rider sort of safe and okay. So that was pretty hectic. I mean, there's too many to. I can't even. Day one feels like about 3 weeks ago. We were saying, you do these. It's a 4-day stage. You can only imagine what the Swannies must feel like on the last day of the Tour de France, because they must be.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel for the mechanics today as well.
Oh, yeah. And yesterday it was so muddy that they were having to make sure everything came apart, get all the grit out. So they had a late night last night.
Yeah.
Chapeau to the mechanics as well.
Yeah. To the whole staff actually, because
Yeah.
they rarely are in the big spotlights, but they do an amazing job. That's for
Yeah,
sure. And
exactly.
especially on a Conti level, it's even, well, they all do, but on a Conti level, it's even more
Yeah.
scrambling and then working with
Exactly.
the means you
You
have.
all
Actually,
muck in. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
yeah. So, and Amy, what's your favorite moment been so far in the Tour of Britain? Because it's not all misery and a mess, of course.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It was so great seeing Sonara today look so strong when she went past and in the group, and when she avoided the crashes, because I think today you kind of felt a little bit on edge all day because of everything that was going wrong. And every time you hear something either on the radio or if the group starts pinging on the WhatsApp, your mind goes to, oh God, what's happened? So it was just great to see her sort of stay at the front for so long and survive the carnage. And I think actually the win today for Kat Ferguson, first World Tour win, that was as a Brit, I guess in the UK, that feels a little bit special. Yeah, I think I always get a bit emotional just when you see all the riders coming back after, and either they're absolutely buzzing, or like Cecile, they're really emotional and disappointed. And I don't know, I think it's just nice to be among that raw emotion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and hey, Amy, if there is one thing people should know about being a part of the staff from a Conti team at the Tour of Britain, what should they know? Because
I just say the work never stops, and everyone has to be prepared to muck in and do whatever's required. And I think that's what me and Martin, who is also here helping mechanic and Swanee, do a bit of everything. We were saying what's great about it is everyone's there because they love cycling. So it's sort of, it's not like you're being paid the big bucks by a world tour team. You're just there because you love it and you want the girls to do well. So it is just a lovely atmosphere and a good bunch of people.
Yeah, that's nice. You already mentioned what your favorite part was of the Tour of Britain, and like, what's the favorite part of being a Swanee? Is it like the emotion and being a part of it all, or is there something different you can think of?
I think it's just sort of helping the rider to get the best out of the riders, because there's so much, whether it's making sure they've got the food they like, or helping them when they're panicking and they've lost a gilet just before, they're due to go out, or, they're just having a moment and they need a little pep talk, whatever it might be. It's just being able to help them in that moment and try and make their lives as easy as possible so that they can just focus on the racing part and enjoy it as much as they can.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And then maybe just a more light question to wrap this up. If you could shadow the other DS in the pro peloton for a week, who would it be and why?
Oh, I'm gonna say, oh gosh, that is such a good one. Any of the other women, just because there's so few female DSs that it's just so interesting to see what they bring to it. I'm not fussy really. any of the other female DSs, I think, because I think the first race I'd gone to with O'Shea was in Belgium, and I was literally Christine's shadow all day, and turning up to the managers meeting, it was just Christine and one other female DS, and it made you realise how few and far between they are, and I'm sure they've all got their own skill set. I mean, Christine's a force of nature, and it'd be cool to see how other female DSs work, I guess, because I'm sure that everyone's different. So I
think it would be an adventure to join one day Miss Teutenberg in the Lidl track car, actually, for one day.
Yes, that would be nice.
That would be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've got all my family are from near where Lizzie Dignan's from, so I would always love to, if I could be on her team. That would be amazing. But I do think as well, I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the World Tour and wanting to be a part of their teams, but actually you do learn a lot from the Conti teams, because it is all hands on deck. So you sort of see every inner working of a team through the smaller teams, which is, I think you learn a lot from that.
I think it's more improvising on a Conti level. Not everything is all set out. I mean, of course, the Swannies from the World Tour team have a lot of work to do as well. But for you, it's like helping the mechanic, helping the DS, being a Swanee, doing this. So you need to really learn on the job. And I think that's a good, internship, let's put it that way, before you could make the step.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah, I think that's a wrap, Sarah. Yeah, for sure. Well, the only thing that's left then is, Amy, this was very lovely to have the insight of a Swanee / DS, assistant DS, whatever it is.
Aspiring. We'll say aspiring
DS. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure I could call myself assistant yet.
Yeah, wow. You can. Say to Christine, you can. No, for sure. But just a big thank you for showing up. I hope all the riders are well, all the staff as well. And just go for it one more time tomorrow, Amy, with the team, with the whole staff. And have a good evening. And thank you for appearance on the show. Thank you very much, Amy.
Well, thank you for having me. It's lovely to chat to you both.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and then just to wrap this episode up, we had some other action. We had the Antwerp Epic here in Belgium. Yeah, kind of gravel cobbles, but also in Belgium it was very rainy, so it was almost like a very long cyclocross. I gotta admit, I had to make my choices combining studying and trying to get some ideas of what was happening in the Tour of Britain. So I just watched like little fragments, but we saw Susanne Andersen, another win. She really had to wait for a long time to get that win, but now it's her second week in a short time. Second win in a short time.
Yeah.
Then it was actually a very close one between her and Clara Copponi. It was a small group sprint. Who was in there too? Shaw,
Yeah.
Alvarado, cyclocross, as said.
Yeah.
Steigenga was there too. Fleur Moos, cyclocross again. Fortin was in there. Lily Williams was in there. Lonneke Uneke, Confalonieri, Ebras from B Pink. So I think it was a very attractive race. I can't say more about it because, I just haven't watched it properly. So, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but I know Antwerp Port Epic for the women's race is well, yeah, depends on your view. It can be beautiful or very hard, very tough race, but it's a nice one with a lot of potential. Yeah. So
just for that race, there were also a lot of DNFs. And Mieke was one of them. She was racing, don't know what happened or just weather circumstances. I don't know, just wanted to give you that guest update. Then there was also Catalunya. Again, I only watched like last 15 kilometers. But what we saw, what was of course, that Vollering was gonna win this one. That was, I think, ice cold take. But it was kind of great to see how Marion Bunel could follow her pretty long, actually. I think it was only in the last 600 meters, Vollering really dropped her. So that was good to see. Yeah, I like that. I was cheering for Bunel because, how big would that have been?
yeah.
But, still, becoming second only on 31 seconds of Vollering is a very big win for her. And Visma actually did a 2-3 because Femke de Vries got third. Then we had Chabet on 4. And then in terms of guests, Barbara Malcotti also did a very good ride and ended up 7th.
Yeah, and Helene Hesters was outside of the time limit.
Oh, really?
just to wrap up our guests. Unfortunately.
There were quite a lot of riders out of time.
Yeah. Quite a lot. Yeah. She was unfortunately one of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also not really her type of racing, I think.
Yeah, I think when you come from the track, so this might be completely out of her comfort zone. But
but that's how you learn, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Good lessons, and it's completely unbiased Team Coop Repsol shout outs. We had Stine Dahle in the breakaway today, so she was fighting for the most combative jersey. But in the end, we had Tyrell Jurgensen finishing up 10th in Catalunya. So that's a very, very strong effort from Tyrell. And she's moving up to the 10th place in the GC as well. So fingers crossed that she's hanging on there. But yeah, again, very strong racing from the team. So happy host.
So I think that's it. Normally tomorrow we're back with the last one of this series. It has been a real chaos to get these to you, so I hope you're enjoying them, and we'll do everything in our power to give you that 4th episode tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. It's very interesting, I think. A little bit chaotic, but it's wonderful to see the behind-the-scenes action of Team CJ.
Yeah, definitely.
And the circumstances of the Tour of Britain, are not favorable as well. So it's nice.
Yeah. So that's a wrap for today's episode of TOB Talks. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this peek behind the scenes at the Tour of Britain.
Thanks to Amy for joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube so you won't miss the next episodes in this 5-day mini-series.
TOB Talks is brought to you by She Rides and O'Shea Racing, and as always, powered by KDM Endurance Coaching.
Thanks for listening to She Rides, where women cycling thinks the lead. Keep watching the funs, and we'll see you at the next stage. Bye-bye.
Bye.